welcome back. This is number 2 of our video. We just got done doing my husband's life story, and so now it is my life story. I'm a little bit nervous about my story just because there's a lot that it involves, and also, yes, there is fear in me just a little bit, knowing that most people that are watching this probably know me and know my past, and it's a little bit hard because it sucks being persecuted for your faith, but I would do anything for the Lord, even if it involves being hated on. But anyway, so I was born into a Weaverland Conference. Horning, what are you doing? Into a Weaverland Conference family. And growing up, I would say, yeah, I struggled a lot with, yeah, life was kind of hard.
Tell them how you felt. You felt rejected a lot.
I was gonna say, I felt rejected quite a lot, and I know that I don't think my family intended it to be that way. It's just kind of how it happens, because when you don't really have Jesus, you don't really know how to express your love, His love, when you don't know it, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense? Not really, because you can't give love away if you don't have love. Like, if you don't have love from Jesus, how can you give it away? Anyway, and so, yeah, I kind of felt rejected quite a lot in little things. And, like, even in school was really bad for me. Most of the time in my years of school, I sat in the back in the corner with a divider in front of me, and I know the teachers tried to help me, but I was usually crying back there because I felt very alone and just kind of rejected and felt different, and all I wanted was someone to just understand how I was feeling, because then I would go home, and then by that time the teacher would have called my mom up and go home to that, and it was just it wasn't easy. I felt like I was fighting all my life. I had to fight for everything. And if I got something, it was more, I felt it was more out of pity if I got something. It was hard. But that was my past, and we don't live in the past. We live in the present, looking for the future. Anyway, so yeah, I was in a sad state where I read my Bible but didn't really know what most of it meant. I would go to church but not really know. I didn't really have hunger for Jesus. I would just go by what people said, what the minister said, and that's what my boundaries, or not boundaries, that's what it was based upon. And so, like, if someone tried to say something about that was negative, so basically, if I would have been watching the video of Lawrence telling his life story, I would have been like, you are so messed up. That's just a bunch of witchcraft. You have no idea. That's not even right. Like, no. Because that's all I know. That's all I had known. I didn't know any different. That's all I knew. That's what the minister said. He never based upon deep things like what born again actually means, what the Holy Spirit actually is, what believing in faith actually means. It was just kind of swayed, or was just kind of beat around the bush, or just kind of, because he didn't know it either, because he was never taught that. Like, there really was no fire. And so, and I would try to stand up. So if I would, at that time, like, let's say if I would have met Lawrence when I was in that mindset, we would not be together, because I'd been like, no, that's wrong. I'm not gonna, no. Anyway, but I went to, okay, so then I went to Faith Mission, because, and getting to Faith Mission was also a big struggle for me, because that is where my brother wanted to go, and he never got to complete that because he passed away. And I was very close to my brother, and so I wanted to go, hands down. And I didn't know what I was getting into. I had no idea. I knew that there was they had Bible studies and whatnot, and me not really knowing the Bible, yeah, I would read it, but not really. If I would have to try to explain intently of what I just got done reading, I would have no idea. Like, I would kind of read over it, and then by the end of the day, I would have no idea what I read that morning. Anyway, and so going there, I was like, I knew that I was gonna get to experience the Bible more, and I wanted to, but yeah, I had no idea what I was getting into. And I finally went. It was a crying mess. I finally got my mom's consent to go, and I went, and I was, wow, not exposed. I was just, it wasn't easy. Let's just put it that way. It was really, really hard. I loved airplane. I loved the classroom that I was in. I loved it so much. I did motor skills, hand-eye coordination and whatnot, physical therapy, basically, with the children. And I loved it. That was my world. And in the end, they took that from me and said, because they wanted me to know Jesus more. So they took one of the things, basically the only thing that I most cared about at that time. They took it from me so that they thought that would help me, and to me, it made it worse. I was a mess. It brought me back to the days in school where I was behind a, divider all day. Also in school, I had to jump schools halfway through the year. Me and my brother had to be in the basement of another school with a teacher. So yeah, we were basically separated, rejected, different. I grew up being different. Anyway, and it was just a struggle, a big struggle. But when I left there, I knew enough about Jesus that coming back home, I wasn't allowed to come home. So I wasn't allowed to move in with my family, so I had to find a place to live. So coming back and being on my own, I knew that the Rebaptized Conference Church was not for me. I wasn't on a spiritual high like I was at Faith Mission. So there was something about Faith Mission, like the spiritual highness, like the Bible studies and stuff, that I really enjoyed. And I noticed coming back and going into the Rebaptized Conference, you only went to church in the morning, and you basically kind of slept in church. You barely got anything out of it. You were always tired. I just knew that it wasn't for me. So I tried to go to all these different churches, and I just didn't feel, something was missing. And so with time, I kind of got back into the rut of, I would go to church, but not really get anything out of it. It was kind of living by myself. Also, at the time, then I had a roommate that wasn't connected with Jesus either, really. So we just kind of did whatever we wanted, but I would, during the week, I would dress not Mennonite to a certain extent, because, there was nothing in me. I was two people. Then I would go with the youth and go to church and be a different person, and then during the week I was a wreck. I was trying to find my fulfillment in people rather than Jesus, and it wasn't really going that well. Anyway, fast forward a few years, because it was about 4.5 years until I met him after Faith Mission. So fast forward a few years, I had a roommate that was doing an internship, and so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it with her. I'm gonna do this internship with her. And so I did. She got me. I went to her Gateway. Yeah, I went to Gateway House of Prayer with her the one night, because I was just like, I couldn't find fulfillment where I was. I was a mess. I was struggling, and I was trying to find Jesus and didn't really know where to begin. My youth life was just, half of the people I bet had no idea that I was struggling internally as much as I was. Anyway, so I went with her, with the internship, and that's kind of when my eyes opened, and I see these people, and they are worshiping, and they are praying, and these are youth people, these are young boys, these are young girls, youth girls, and this was a youth group. It was like a youth group. It was a bunch of young people from the age of, I don't know, 16 till like 30, huh?
30. Yeah.
30, like just a bunch of people in the same room, and I wanted more of it. They were worshiping, they were praying, they were singing, they had life stories, testimonies. It was all about Jesus and Jesus only. And I had so much fun with these people. I was like, is that what I want more of this. Anyway, and most of them were doing this internship also, and so it was like a deeper connection, and I was just like, dude, this is cool, I want to do this. And so I would go there, I would do it, and then sometimes on Sunday I was dressing differently. I had a veil on, and I did not wear dresses when I went there. I skirt and shirt, or sometimes even leggings, and because I was like, what are the chances that I'm gonna meet these people again? And I was a mess. Anyway, so I went, and I just enjoyed it, and I wanted more and more and more. And then I would go home Saturday nights or Sunday, quickly change, and go with the youth, and with my youth group. And I was like, dude, this doesn't even appeal to me anymore. No one even talks about Jesus. No one even cares about Jesus. Nobody even really knows who Jesus is. They don't talk about him. All they care about is playing volleyball and trying to find boyfriends and girlfriends. And I was like, I don't want this fulfillment. I'm not about it. You go there, talk about drama, and I was just like, no, this is not for me. I don't want this. And so I kept going more and more, and my eyes were being more and more open, and I was like, dude, this is cool. And then I met him, and we started dating, and I went to his friend group, which was some people from there, but not really. It was
we went there.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
But we went many different places, by the way. Like, we didn't have a specific place that we stayed.
Yeah.
We went to many different places and just
worship and pray. We would go to people's houses and pray and worship, and I was just getting to know Jesus more and more and more. And I it was just amazing. I don't know how to say it. Like, it was just amazing. And yeah. And going back there after knowing more, oh, that was a very tart blueberry. After seeing what I saw, and going back, I was like, no, this does not even appeal to me whatsoever. I would have conversations to my mom because I was searching. I was mega searching. All I wanted was Jesus and Jesus only. And I could not find him in the Mennonites. I just couldn't. There was too much other stuff that covered it up. He was kind of on the back burner. You only talked about him on Sunday morning, and that was it. There was way more other things that, like, basically covered up. Like, too many other things that were higher priority than Jesus. As for outfits, clothing, cars, colors, whatnot, they were higher. They viewed those things higher than what they viewed Jesus. Because if you would view Jesus, then, and if you love Jesus and you had unity with Jesus, then other stuff doesn't matter. Why does it matter what color car you have? That ain't gonna get you any closer to heaven. Like, this is what, yeah, anyway.
Just think.
Just think. Anyway, and I was just like, no, I just want to know Jesus. So we started dating, and he opened my eyes even more. Like, I was like, wait, this is cool. Like, always worshiping, always praying, like, and I was being delivered from a lot of things, and I was feeling on fire for Jesus. So I didn't have an encounter with him, like he did, like actually being passed out, knocked out. But I felt Jesus in many other ways, and like I felt so when I started feeling Jesus in me is when I could actually talk to, let's say, my parents. I could talk to my mom, and it wasn't me talking, it was Jesus talking through me. And I was just like, I did not know that stuff. I didn't know that. Like, Bible stuff.
You didn't know Jesus.
I didn't know that. I was like, if that would have been me in the flesh talking, it would have not sounded like that. That's for sure. And that's where it says walk in the spirit and not in the flesh. Talk in the spirit and not in the flesh. When you're talking in the spirit, when you're talking to someone in the spirit, it's not you talking, it's Jesus. You died to your flesh. You died you're dead. And it's Jesus talking through you. And when it's Jesus talking through you, like, all that's going to come from you is Jesus. And I don't care how hard people try to contradict, in the end, it's Jesus. It comes from the Bible. There's nothing to it.
In the end, it's Jesus. Like,
it's Jesus. You can't
Jesus.
argue with Jesus.
Yeah.
It ain't possible. And
I know we don't even have it all correct. But.
Yeah, we don't. But anyway, and so that was me finding it out, and I was just like, oh, I love this. Like, I want more of this. Seeing, we would go praying in the streets for people. I was like, I don't even know how to pray. I've never even heard my dad pray out loud. How am I supposed to know how to pray if I never hear it? Like, all I heard was a minister praying on church Sunday morning. That was it. I was like, okay. No, I want my children to know how to pray. I want my children to pray with all their heart and pray to their Father in heaven like he was here. We are to pray like a child. Like, and I wanted that. And I wanted all of it. And sometimes I felt, like a mess. I would be crying on the floor, just praying. And then I could just feel him comfort me, and I just felt amazing. 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 vision. I would have good dreams, vision dreams, powerful dreams, because God can speak through dreams. And I remember the day when I got the gift of tongues. I've also had the gift of tongues, and that was a night when, so I have a leg, a foot that is longer than the other, and our friends came over and they started praying for it because it was longer than the other. And so when I would go to work, I would always put my back out because, well, it wasn't level. And I remember when they were praying for me, I got this very hot sensation in my body, and my foot literally grew. Like, we were sitting there so they could see the difference, and by the time we were done praying, it was the exact same. And so we were just on joy. We were just praising God, glorifying Him, and we were just worshiping. We were having so good. And we were just so fired up. We were just praying. And anyway, one of them started praying. It was me and a friend that neither of us had the gift of tongues, and we both wanted it, and we both, been asking the Lord for it in His time, if that's what He desired for us. Because there's many different gifts in the Bible. You can have the gift of interpretation. You can have the gift of, oh my, what are all the gifts? There's a lot of different gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but so they started praying for it, and I just remember I was laying on the floor, and I just started crying, and then I started laughing, and then I started crying, and then I started laughing, and then I did, and then I started, all of a sudden, my mouth opened, and I just started blabbering. To me, in the natural, made no sense. Like, just random, but I just felt so good, and I was just so happy. I felt so free. It felt amazing. Like, and I just started speaking in tongues, and I've never had that experience before, and it was amazing. Anyway, fast forward, so I also got rebaptized, and an incredible thing about that is I actually got rebaptized the same day as my brother went missing 7 years ago. So basically, when he met Jesus, I met Jesus, which is incredible. But that was also, that story, should I go into detail about that story? The baptism?
If you want to.
The baptism was different.
It was a little different.
It was, I walked away kind of feeling confused. There was a lot of, with some of the people that were involved, I'm not sure if I should go into it too deeply.
Mm-hmm.
But
there was a little bit control involved with it.
There was control involved with my baptism.
Mm-hmm. But we forgive.
We do forgive, and
we go on. Jesus is Lord.
And there was things that happened at my baptism. I did feel at peace. It wasn't right when I came out of the water. When I came out of the water, I felt confused. But later that night, after I got home, I remember laying on the couch, and I remember I don't know what I was saying, but I was talking and praying and babbling and whatnot. It was Jesus in me. And I woke up feeling a lot better. I felt very joyful. But yeah, my story is not near as beautiful and wonderful and amazing like my hubby's story.
Your story's beautiful.
But mine was not. And also, mine wasn't like a one and done, not one and done, but a dramatic change like his. Mine is going to be it's a slow, gradual, upward climb.
everybody's story is different.
Yeah.
Everybody experiences Jesus different. Everybody, yeah, it's just say some people have stuff to go through before they can find Jesus.
Mhm.
Like, I had stuff to go through too. Like, even after I met Jesus, I still had to deal with some of the stuff I went through. But with Jesus, everything is possible. And yeah.
But I would say for myself, like, I feel I am way, way, way more freer than what I have been ever in my
Praise the
entire
Lord.
life. Ever in my entire life.
Praise
And I
the
don't even
Lord.
want to go back to those days because those were dark days. And those are days that I don't even want our children to have to go through those days.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And it is just, like our children, I know that a big thing that I feel probably everyone is, maybe not everybody, but I know for myself, or not myself, sorry. My parents, one of their big alarms is like, well, we don't want our grandchildren to wear shirt and pants and, you know, whatnot. And I'm just like, no, that's not necessarily, I don't want my children to necessarily wear that either. But I'm not here to control them. I'm here to lead them to Jesus. I want them to know Jesus. And if my child knows Jesus and loves Jesus, that is all I care for. That's all I care about, right? Because that's the best thing. I would rather have my child free and loving Jesus than being burdened and controlled by traditions and cultures.
By how we did it. Because our children aren't going to go ahead of us even. It's not.
We are plowing the way for generations. Like, I don't want the next generation to have to go through what we did or what our grandparents did or what our great-grandparents did. You know, nobody wants that. We're plowing the way for freedom and joy.
His kingdom come and His
Yes.
will be done.
On earth as it is in heaven.
Yeah.
As it is in heaven. On earth. Is there control in heaven? No. So why should there be control on earth? Are there man-made rules in heaven? No. So why should there be man-made rules on earth? Just think it is. On earth as it is in heaven. And that's kind of a saying that we say so much but don't actually know what it actually means. We don't dig in there and know what that means. Anyway,
the other thing is one more thing I'd like to share a little bit is about baptism.
yeah.
I just want to share baptism should always be between you and the Lord.
That's true.
Don't make it about anybody. Don't make it about your friends. Don't make it about
Your family,
what.
the church. It's
Make
between
it about Jesus.
you
It
and Jesus.
is about Jesus.
That's right. And nowadays, it is so much about church. And this is not just the churches we came from. This is from all different kinds of churches. This is from, I don't know. There's all types of churches. All types of churches. And no church is going to get you any closer to heaven. I don't care what for church you go to. The only thing that's going to get you to heaven is your intimacy and your relationship with Jesus. Is your foundation based on Jesus, or is it based on the church or the tradition or the culture? Because if that falls, let's say if your church falls, are you going to fall with it, are you going to be able to stand firm in Jesus because that's where your relationship and foundation has been based upon? Because I know back then, for me, I would have fallen because I didn't even really know Jesus. My foundation was not on Jesus. It was on the church. I was just trying to fit in and do what everybody else says because that's how you live it. Because apparently, if you dress and look and live like that, then you're going to heaven. There's just no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Dig into your Bible. That's where you'll find all the truths. That's where you'll find everything.
Yeah.
Just dig.
Dig for Jesus.
Just search.
And be set on fire for Jesus.
Yes. I don't care what people say. I don't care what people do. It's between you and Jesus. Do not be wavered by other people's opinions. Just be with Jesus.
Be set on fire. Be set on fire.
That's right.
In Jesus' name.
All right. We're not wanting to come on here and start preaching.
Oh yeah, I want to preach.
Are you gonna preach? Okay. I just want to come.
I want to be a preacher.
I know that I'm going to heaven, and so
by His grace.
By His grace, yes.
By the grace of God. That's
And
the
so-
only way we get into heaven. By
Yes.
the grace of God.